I won't begin doing anything to the people are at the area where I want them. So they've got to be on board before I start. So I guess the first thing is just to get credibility as I show some sort of skill or dexterity about me. So people go, oh wow, he's a magician. So that's usually the manipulation work. I start doing some manipulation things and then they go, ah. And then they think, oh, and then they chuck the lines in and then away you go. As an 11-year-old boy growing up in New Zealand, it was quite common for people to have parties and stuff all the time. That's how it was. And always having lots of uncles and aunties coming around. And, you know, a lot of uncles were playing the guitar and singing. And as a young child, you'd see all these things. And one uncle in particular used to do all these wicked card tricks. And that caught my interest.
People's lives today are so full of distraction, which makes it harder for people to pay attention. I remember when I was young, my family was so poor, we couldn't afford to pay attention either. That's why I became the magician.
I got into the card tricks, and the card tricks led me to the magic shop. That was the next stage. So I went to the magic shop here, where I was living, and the old magician that was running the shop was a pretty good magician in his day, even though he was getting a bit old now, and the arthritis was starting to kick in, but all the magical gags and stuff were there, and I pretty much went through the whole shop.
It's not what you look at, it's what you see. Let's take this empty glass, for example, and this bottle of red liquid. If I pour the liquid into the glass, some people see the glass as half full, while others may say it's half empty. Shall we find out?
All through my teenage years, I was on the magic buzz, and what happened then was I went into the New Zealand Army, and the magic was sort of took a back seat. Didn't really get that much. Might have played a few games of cards, you know, here and there. The boys thought, you could never pick me, but I was cheating. So that was fun. I was still sharpening up my card act and everything like that. But it wasn't until I got out of the army and I got into the restaurant industry trade, hospitality industry trade, and then come across here to Australia. We got involved in around a restaurant called Ned Kelly's in Century Cove. And this was during the pilot strike era, early 90s, when the country was going into recession. The recession we had to have, according to Mr. Paul Kenny. And things were tough, and step by step I worked the back of the kitchen, getting the menu right, to coming to the front of house and changing the theme and getting it all into character. So then we became characters. Yes, that was the next phase. I had all the waitresses and all the authentic characters. We had Ned Kelly walking around. And then my wife said to me, she said, that magic hobby of yours, I think you should become Dan, which was Ned's brother, and that's how Dan the Gambler was born.
Well, it doesn't run in the family. My mum and dad were in the iron and steel business. That's right. My mum used to iron all day, and my dad, well, he used to steal at night. But it wasn't until I found out my sister was getting paid $50 a trick, I thought, sweet, magic's for me.
Being around the boats and the boat show and Century Cove, that's when I wanted to do the pirate.
So tell me, Blackjack, what do you do in your spare time?
I could be more, whatever, you know, and the kids liked it because he was a big character, he played big.
Oh, I like to watch my own pirated, R-rated videos. Yes, indeed, these videos, they're damn hot. Arr.
And it was fun to play that character because it didn't have to be so smicked on with the magic.
Tell me, how did you get involved in magic in the first place?
Well, I think it was my great-great-granddaddy told me the story about Long John Silver. I think I just dropped my balls. The Willy Wonton character comes back from when I was a child. It was always my job to run down and get the Sunday roast. And the Sunday roast was fish and chips. Chips. Yep. I would be sitting there at the fish and chip shop, and I always noticed the lady coming out from behind the curtain, and she was wiping her eyes and taking the order all nice and pleasant to the people. And then as soon as she was out the back, I could hear the woks going flat out, and she was getting yelled at and screamed at. I felt sorry for him, and everyone could see it, and we were all sitting there, we could all feel what was going on at the back. And then he would come out the front, and he was, what do you want?
To be a great magician, you need 3 things. First of all, must be very, very intelligent. Second, you must have a good memory. And third,
I think the funniest time I've ever played Willy Wonton was it was a late show. People would book me, It was about 10 o'clock at night. I went round to this house, knocked on the door. Hello, you want a takeaway? And went in there, and people go, whoa, takeaway? And I walked in, looked, they thought it was a takeaway meal. Next minute all the stuff starts coming out, and then they were blown away. It ended up being a full-on magic show. Just for a family at home that late at night. Really cool. Got away with it. Wasn't themed up, but my approach was somebody would order takeaway.
The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world, and the world at large. So while it may be good for girl to meet boy in park, huh? You know, I think much better if boy park meeting girl.